Liberté, Shakti, liberty and power. One word is French, the other Sanskrit. But together, they perfectly capture the spirit of what's become one of the most important and, frankly, one of the most interesting strategic partnerships on the planet today, the alliance between France and India. And as we're about to see, this goes way beyond just trade deals. This is a relationship that is quietly but surely helping to reshape our world.
Now, when French President Emmanuel Macron said this, it wasn't just some throwaway line. When he elevated the relationship with India to a special global strategic partnership, that was a huge signal to the rest of the world, a sign that something really fundamental has changed in the bond between Paris and New Delhi.
So that brings us to the big questions we're going to tackle in this explainer. What on earth makes this partnership so special? And what powerful forces are pushing these two very different countries, thousands of miles apart, so much closer together, especially right now? All right, let's dive in.
Well, the most obvious sign of this big shift came at a recent summit. And I mean, this was no simple photo op. We are talking about a jaw-dropping 21 agreements signed across the most critical sectors you can imagine. Defense, AI, nuclear energy, you name it. This was the moment it all became real. But to really get why this is happening, you have to look outside of just France and India. See, this alliance isn't being built in a vacuum. Nope. It's a direct answer to a world that is just in a massive state of change, where the old rules of the game are basically being rewritten right in front of us.
And if there's one idea that sits right at the very heart of how they both see the world, it's this concept, strategic autonomy. It's so important. Both France and India are fiercely committed to this idea, the right to make their own calls on the world stage without having to answer to any single superpower. It's like their shared language.
And what's so fascinating is that they got to this same exact spot from totally different directions. Think about it. France has always been the independent one, inside the Western NATO alliance, always carving out its own path. Meanwhile, you have India, with its deep history of non-alignment, always prizing its freedom from any formal bloc. So this mutual respect for each other's independence, that's the bedrock of their trust.
So the key takeaway here is that this shared way of thinking is being supercharged by three huge global shifts. First, they both believe in a multipolar world, a world where no single country gets to call all the shots. Second, there's the China factor, right? A quiet but clear reason for both of them to work together to balance its influence. And third, and this might surprise you, is Ukraine, where both have found themselves in a sort of middle ground, which has actually brought them closer together.
So, if strategic autonomy is the brain of this partnership, then you could say that defense cooperation is its spine. This is where all those big ideas become real, concrete things. We're talking less about philosophy and more about serious hardware.
And it does not get more concrete than this. The 2016 deal for 36 Rafale fighter jets worth almost $9 billion, that was the turning point. But listen, this was never just about India buying some planes. It was about India getting its hands on top-tier technology and France showing it was a partner willing to share its best stuff.
And this slide right here shows you the evolution perfectly. The whole relationship went from a simple buyer-seller thing to a real industrial partnership. They've gone from India simply buying French jets to India building parts of those jets and their advanced missiles on its own soil. That shows an incredible amount of trust. And just look at the sheer ambition here. I mean, this is so much bigger than just military gear. You've got nuclear energy, where they're planning the world's largest power plant and working on next-gen reactors. In space, they're coordinating military satellites. They're even working together on securing supply chains for critical minerals to rely less on China. And as we're about to see, they're making a big push into AI. And we really can't overstate how important this AI piece is. By co-chairing these global summits, France and India are basically trying to become the co-architects of the world's future rules for artificial intelligence. They're trying to create a third way for AI that isn't just the American model or the Chinese model. Now, a partnership this deep doesn't just pop up overnight. To really get why the bond is so strong today, we actually have to go back in time. The foundation for all of this was built on a history that's way deeper and more unique than a lot of people realize.
Two moments in time are absolutely key. First, back in 1954, France was the only colonial power to leave India peacefully. That created a rare bit of goodwill. Then, you fast forward to 1998. When India tested its nuclear weapons and faced sanctions from the entire world, France stood apart. They refused to join the sanctions, a gesture that New Delhi has never, ever forgotten.
And all that history leads you to this really powerful insight. This is not some marriage of convenience based on short-term needs. It's a partnership that India believes is built on shared principles and mutual respect, earned over decades. It's really about character.
Okay, so we've covered the what, the why, and the how. Now let's zoom out one last time and ask the big question. Why does this alliance between these two countries actually matter for the rest of us? What are the global implications of this growing Paris-New Delhi axis?
Well, the implications are huge, and they ripple outwards. For the rest of Europe, this partnership is a kind of blueprint for how the EU could build a stronger relationship with India. For India, France is that rare Western power that offers top-level tech without expecting them to fall in line. And for the whole world, it offers a potential third way on huge issues like technology, one that isn't dictated by Washington or Beijing.
But of course, let's be realistic. No partnership is perfect. That massive nuclear power plant project has been stuck for years. Sometimes, France's close ties with India cause a bit of friction with its EU partners, and both countries are still a bit cagey about taking a hard line on China. So yeah, there are real challenges they have to work through.
But even with those issues, their long-term goal is undeniable. They've literally created a roadmap called Horizon 2047, which marks 100 years of Indian independence. Both countries have made it crystal clear. This isn't about the next few years. This is an alliance designed to last for a generation.
Which leaves us with this final, powerful question. In a world that's being completely reshaped by big power competition, have France and India, two old civilizations committed to their own freedom of action, finally found in each other the perfect partner for the uncertain century that's just beginning? That is a question really worth thinking about.